Hey guys, I'm coming here today to show you guys how to make hardtack, otherwise known as ship's biscuit, ship's bread. It's known as hard biscuit or brown bread. All of these are very old terms. The term hardtack came from the 19th century. It didn't come from any earlier than that. Now what happened, bread's been around for a millennium. Like sourdough, it's been around for over 1,000 years. Pre-Neolithic people made a flatbread bread baked on hot rocks. The first century Romans observed the Celts using beer foam for lighter bread, for leavened bread. Twice baked is another name for this, or rusk. Okay. Now I got a lot of this information on the history of it from another YouTube channel called The Townsends. He's really good. Go check him out. I already knew how to make hardtack, but I was watching his deal to see if he did it any different, and he didn't. But he had a lot of information there about the origins of it. Okay, so you can use whole wheat flour. You can use all-purpose flour. You can use unbleached flour, which is what I'm using. Now, you don't really have to measure it, okay? You can if you want. What I'm doing is I'm just measuring out about a half a bowl, okay? Because I want to make enough dough to make a few biscuits. So, put that over there. Now, the next thing you're going to put in is salt. Now this is coarse sea salt, but you can use, pretty much any salt you want. Okay, be a little generous with the salt, okay? Because in an shtf situation, you're going to need salt in your diet, and these things are going to taste pretty bland anyway. Okay, you're going to preheat your oven to about 300. These are going to be baked for a long time. So the only thing is when you get to baking them, you're going to need to watch them just so they don't burn, because you don't care if they get hard. That's what you want. Okay. Now mix up the salt. Okay. And make sure you wash your hands first. I already have. I make a well in the center, and you're just going to add enough water in there to make a very stiff dough. Okay. I don't have any set amount, because the only thing that's in hardtack is flour, salt, and water. Okay, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. So right now it's a little too dry. As you can see, it's a little too flaky. So add a little bit more. Now, if you make it too wet, you can always add more flour. Okay, so don't worry about it, trying to measure it out perfect, because it's not necessary, really. All you're going to do is just add enough water to make a stiff dough. You don't even have to measure the flour if you don't want to. Okay? And yes, I could do this with a mixer. I have dough hooks, but I would prefer to have it in my hand so I can feel how stiff the dough is. Okay? Let me get a... We're just going to mix it. After we get done mixing it, we're going to knead it for about 5 minutes. Just want it really good and mixed, that's all. Okay? It's getting there. If it's sticky on the top and dry on the bottom, turn it over. And let the bottom sticky soak up the water. Or soak up the flour, so it makes it where it has less water in it. And yes, it's messy, but it'll be fine. Okay, I've got this thing to a stiff dough. wash my hands and come back and we'll knead this dough. And if you have to add a little flour, do it. You know, you want to sprinkle probably a little flour on your countertop before you knead your dough, so just so it doesn't stick. If it does stick, just take a spatula and scrape it up and then add some flour if it gives you a problem. Okay? We're not trying to make a light, fluffy bread. We are making hardtack. So, ta-da! All right, move this out of the way. A little bit of flour. Whoops. Get a little bit of flour to put underneath it. I don't want it to stick. Now, after this is kneaded for about 5 minutes, I'm going to actually set the timer so I don't under knead it. After this is kneaded, you can either pat it out in, you know, tear off chunks and pat it out into patties, or you can roll it and cut it with cookie cutters or a glass or anything else that you want. So I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me knead this. Now how you knead, if you don't know, is you fold it over and you push it with your palm. You turn it, fold it over, push it with your palm. Turn it, fold it over. You get the idea. So what we're doing is we're trying to make everything mixed up nice and smooth. That's all. Doesn't have to be perfect. I could actually try to roll it out and use it right now. Make hardtack right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and knead it. So I'm going to put you guys on hold while I knead it, and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. I kneaded it for a full 5 minutes. Okay, and it's still, you know, for if we were wanting to make bread out of it, it probably would need to be kneaded for a few more. But since there's no yeast or anything in it, so it's just unleavened bread. I'm going to roll it out just because I have a rolling pin. Just got it about a month ago and haven't even used it yet. Had it down there at Ross's. Now these aren't going to rise, so pretty much whatever thickness you roll it out to is the thickness it's going to be when you're done. So if you want thinner ones, roll it out thinner. If you want thicker ones, roll it out thicker. Now just remember, the thinner ones will cook faster, so something to keep in mind. Now this dough is stiff enough to where it doesn't stick, okay? But still pliable and fairly soft to the feel. I didn't make it so stiff that it was hard to work with, okay? If it gets hard to work with, what you got to do then is just add just a touch more water and mix that in. You know, a couple tablespoons. Okay, that's about the right thickness for me anyway. Cookie cutters. Now I'm going to make these things pretty decent sized. Okay. I don't really like to have the fluted edges, but that's the only cookie cutters I have, so it'll have to do. I'm going to cut them out. I'm going to take what's left of the dough and roll it back up, put it back in a bowl and roll it back out so that we don't waste any of it. Put mine on parchment paper. You don't have to. It's just that this is a dark colored pan. So, all right, cookie cutter, why aren't you cutting through? There you go. And they don't have to. You can use a glass if you want. A coffee cup, anything you have to cut, it's fine. You don't even have to do that. You can just tear chunks off of it and form it up into a ball. Okay, now these won't swell, so you can make them touch in the pan. And it's okay if they touch. It's no big deal. Just to make it all mush back together. Same thing. These aren't the flaky saltines that you buy in the store, but this is actually where the saltines originated from. Okay. All right, this one here I'm just going to pad out into a biscuit. See, you don't even have to use a cookie cutter. You just make it about the right thickness and put it on there. It's a little bigger than the others. Let me move the camera so you can see. Okay. Oops. Let me get you at this angle. There you go. Now you can see it. Okay, after you get them on there, the oven's already preheating. You stab them because you don't want them puffing up. Okay? Just take a fork or something. Just poke a bunch of holes in the top. Kind of like they do saltines. They do that for a reason. Not just because they want it to look a certain way. They do it so they'll stay flat. And don't be afraid. Stick a bunch of holes in there. It don't hurt nothing. What you're looking for is a long-term storage food that will save. Any of them look like? Nope, they all look good. Now, at this point, you could sprinkle a little salt on them. I'm not going to because I put plenty in the mix. Okay? It's a little black speck. There we go. And I'm going to put them in the oven. And I'm going to check them every 45 minutes or so. And until they're done. And that is how you make hardtack. Now, a lot of them will bake, a lot of the old time people would bake them 2 or 3 times, okay? They would take them out after they'd baked, they'd let them completely cool, bake them again the next day. The longer you want them to last, the more times you bake them. So if you want it to last a long, long time in a jar, bake it like 2 or 3 times. Just don't burn it. That's all you got to worry about is burning it. Don't burn it, and you're fine. It'll make really good, hard, long-term storage shtf biscuits, hardtack, ship's biscuit, sea biscuit, brown biscuit, whatever, you know, twice baked, whatever you want to call it. So, anyway, what I'll do is I'll put as the thumbnail as the picture of them finished because, you know, it's not going to take long for them to, you know, all I'm going to do is show you when they're done anyway, so I might as well put that as the thumbnail. So, anyway, if you guys would hit the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, like me on all your social stuff. Check out my links down below and y'all come back and see me.